often emphasize how um, relentlessly unstable and radically uh, dynamic and ever-changing reality is, right? It's just so ungraspable in that sense of always vanishing no sooner than it appears. And this is a very profound thing to see and to feel. Um, it can serve to cut through so many of our ideas about the seeming enduring nature of phenomena um, and the idea based on the seeming stability and endurance and continuity of things that we can actually know what they are and name them and describe them. And so it's very useful to to feel the way in which this has no stability, that is just constantly slipping through our fingers. Interestingly, though, as true as that is, paradoxically, we can also become aware of what we could say is this complete stability, which may sound very contradictory. But this is a curious thing about reality, that it's always here. The moment is always here, even if what's here is ungraspable and slipping away, vanishing, really no sooner than it seems to be here, right? So just feeling your experience now, and which is all we're ever doing, feeling our experience, noticing experience, and just letting yourself become aware of what we could call a kind of stability, a sense of something. We can't say what this something is. Let's just call it reality. Let's call it this, this instant. We could just call it life, right? I mean, there's no real word for it, but we call it this that's here is always here, isn't it? Feel that, feel the always here-ness of reality, that it never goes away, even though, again, paradoxically, it's always shape-shifting, it would seem. And feeling this, the stability of this that can never leave, that never disappears. This that never disappears, that appears as everything, everything that is so fleeting and transient and dynamic, right? Everything that's appearing, that we can't, it doesn't hold still, right? Owing to its alive nature. So there's this constant fluidity, right? This flux, this dynamism, again, ungraspable in its dynamism. But so we could say completely unstable and yet always here. So just let yourself kind of attune to this ever here-ness, this already here-ness, ever present. A presence that can't be eliminated, that can't be lost. There's such a sense of the ground of that, isn't there? Impossible to be cast out of this presence. For this presence is what appears as each momentary perception, each momentary experience is the presence, is it not? The presence of what is always here. Always here as each particular version of it, each particular appearance. showing up as all this incredible display, this diversity of everything. Again, so fluid, so here for no time, truly. In that sense, never really completely taking shape, right? Because it's like a shape that just keeps shaping, never is frozen, never fixed. And yet there is this sense of the constancy of this because there's nothing else. This is the constancy of reality. And we are not somehow sitting apart from the constancy right now, observing it, noting it, appreciating it. We are the constancy. We are made of this constant presence. We're not a wave that's been plucked out of the sea of reality, the sea of this, and somehow are noticing the sea and its ever present presence. We are it. We are this presence. The body is this presence. The mind is this presence. Every thought, every perception. I posted a little meme the other day that I'll just read it to you because it speaks to what I'm talking about right now. I said, we don't have to correct our experiences, right? You don't have to have a different experience than the one you're having. You can't really correct your experiences anyway because they're already here, right? It's the immediacy. There's no correcting what's already immediately here. But we don't have to correct our experiences. We don't have to alter them or modify them because their very appearance is the miracle that we're searching for. So this perception that you're having right now, this is the miracle. This is the apparition of reality. This is its stability, that it is each instant, that it is everything. We could say the ultimate stability, the ultimate ground, because well, there's nothing else. So it's the ground of being, as it's sometimes called, right? This being, this ground of being, this ground of presence, this ground of reality is the very heart, the very basis, the very essence, if you will, of each momentary appearance. Its presence, the presence of this moment is its ground, isn't it? Its stability, its presence is its stability. It's as if the moment is, the presence of the moment is like the beingness of the moment in each of its ever morphing appearances. It's like constantly attiring itself differently, with its different clothing, its particular um, qualities, its particular um, how it seems to be costumed, how it seems to be presenting itself. Each presentation unique, right? Just like each one of us has a presentation of reality, utterly unique. But each of us is realities. The way reality looks there, the way it appears here, the way it appears in this moment. This appearing, the appearances are constantly changing, but the appearing is constant, isn't it? That's the ground, the stability that I'm pointing to, the constancy of the appearing, the flow of the appearing. You could call it the flow of experiencing, same thing. It's constant, isn't it? The river of experience constantly flowing. Nothing ever apart from the river of experiencing this flow. You feel that, the ground of that, the solidity of that, even though, strangely enough, if you were to try to say what that ground was, this ground of being, this ground of presence that is everything, there would be no way to determine what that ground is, right? You can't put your finger on it. There's the ground. It's like this. That's what it looks like. That's what it seems to be. It's like it's groundless, isn't it? The ground. It has no bottom to it. It has no definitive end to it, right? It's a free fall, the ground, but it's here. That's its groundedness, its here-ness, right? Something's here, even if we can't say what that is. We can't determine what that is. We can't really know what that is. Feel the truth of that, the reality of, you feel the presence of the moment. You can't really determine what it is. It's pure unknowability, isn't it? Pure mystery as to what it actually is. The the seeming determination of it eludes us. The knowledge of what it is, the resolution of what it is. Oh, it's this. This is what the moment is. And you take any of its appearances, and it's this. You come up with the same thing. It's like you know, if you're thinking any thoughts, and here's the presence of this apparition of thinking, this appearance that we call thinking, and enter into the thought to determine what is thought. And you go right into the bottomless bottom of not knowing what thought is. That's the emptiness, the empty ground, the no thingness. Not There's not things, right? Because again, everything liquefying, everything here for no time. So that's why we can't know what it is, because it's any knowledge of what it is now gone. And yet still there is this sense of the solidity, isn't there? The sense of still here, no ground, but here is the ground of being. Feel that groundless ground of this moment. Endless, like a treasure of qualities that has no bottom to it, no single discernible, there it is, but just this constant upwelling of phenomena. This is the fullness of this, but we can't determine what the fullness is, what all the different dimensions of it are. But it's such a steady, ever-present presence. See how it never goes anywhere. Where would it go? It's like as everything disappears, what remains is this always remains, this always abides, even if we can't say what that is that abides. The mystery abides, the groundless ground. And no experience takes us away from that ground, can possibly take us away from the ground, because every experience is the ground. And we are the ground, so there is no being separated from the ground. And no experience can bring us closer to the ground. Our coming together and exploring this groundless ground is not bringing us closer to the ground. It's just pointing out that the ground can't be lost. It's no more present when the Zoom meeting ends, of course. It's just going to look different, but it's still the ground, still the ever-present ground, the ever-present presence of what is, that can look and feel and appear as anything and everything. That's its display, its ceaseless diversity. This is the great perfection. Everything is the ground. That is its great perfection. Even when it may not look to be to our liking, it is still the ground. So we can try to correct our experiences, try to transform them. There's nothing wrong with that. That project, part of what humans seem to do. But to know the ground of being, it's not necessary. Because those experiences that we might be inclined to transform for whatever reasons are the ground. And the effort to try to transform them, that efforting is also the ground. So it's not a problem. But the point is to see that you don't have to have a different perception, a different experience to know the ground, because each experience is the ground. As I said in that little meme, we don't have to correct our experience because every experience is the miracle that we're searching for. I mean, really let that sink in. Every experience is the miracle that you're searching for, the miracle of existence. Everything is the miracle of existence. There's not some things that are more the miracle of existence than other things. That everything is the miracle. So everything is equal in its miraculous existence. Makes it easy, right? You can't miss it. It's what you're seeing right now. It's what you're hearing. It's what you're tasting and touching and knowing and sensing and remembering and seeming to forget. It's all of it. It's so relieving, isn't it? To realize you don't have to have a different experience because the experience you're having right now is it. It's the ultimate relief. It's the ultimate, ah, this is it. This is the shining forth from divinity. Of course it is.